Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another live session on Inside IIM's CAT Day 2022. So, in this session, we will deep dive into how to start your WAT-PI preparation. So, over the years, we have realized that just after CAT, aspirants have two things, right? Either you prepare for OMETs, and the other thing is you start preparing for WAT-PI. And I mean, you should do both hand in hand. And in the last session, we covered how to prepare for WATPI, how to prepare for OMETs with students from XRI, Jamshedpur, SIBM Pune, and IIFT Delhi. If you're interested in that, do check out the video. In this session, we will talk primarily about WATPI and how preparing early and starting your preparation early will help you in January once the call. In this session, we have with us Milana Prakash from IIM Ahmedabad, class of 2024, and Ritesh Kumari from IIM Bangalore, class of 2024. Good evening, Milana and Ritesh. Thank you so much for doing this. Milana, I know you have 2 exams tomorrow. Thank you so much for taking out the time and
No problem.
with us.
Yeah.
Hi, Dibayan.
So before we start, Milana, Ritesh, why don't you introduce yourselves to our viewers? Why don't you tell the viewers something about yourselves? I mean, tell me something about yourself. Is there any question they'll face in 2 months?
I think both Ritesh and I must have answered this question like a billion times.
True.
Absolutely.
Would you like to go first, Ritesh?
No, Milana, please.
Okay, cool. So, hi guys, I'm Milana. Like Dibayan said, I'm currently at IIM Ahmedabad. I did my undergrad in mass media and from Sophia and Bombay. And after that, I cleared the CAT at my third attempt. I have around 2 years of work ex with the Economist Group. And, here I am. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Ritesh. I come from Mehndrgarh district of Haryana. And right now, I'm in IIM Bangalore, class of 24, as Dibayan told you. And I've done my graduation from Shri Ram College of Commerce. With that, I have 3.5 years of work ex around, and this was my first attempt for CAT. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Milana, Ritesh, last year on 28th November, you took your CAT, right? And this year, so how was your feeling last year around the same time after you wrote CAT? What was the first thing that you did? I mean, apart from checking your scores and percentile, what were you going through?
Well, I was actually at Delhi Heart with my parents because I had a decent exam. I thought, ठीक है, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं तो हो ही जाएगा. And my parents were shopping and I was frantically on my phone going through different websites, checking out different percentile predictors. I was like, okay, this website is saying this thing, this institute is saying whatever, X percentile. And I went with low expectations actually. So I wasn't going in saying ki mere ko IIM Ahmedabad jana or whatever. I was just like, I just want to go into a decent college. It was my third attempt and likely my final attempt. So I was just like, okay, I think I've done well. I will get in someplace.
Amazing. So on that note, I have 2 small plugs. So everyone watching this video, please check Inside IIM's CAT 2022 percentile predictor. You'll find the link in the description, and also to check CAT 2022 live analysis on our website. Please find the link in the description below. Yeah, sorry, over to you, Ritesh.
No worries. So for me, it was kind of a little bit different because I had to run back to my home, which takes around 4 hours from the center. So at least I was having my mind was a little bit diverted. But there were two feelings I still remember. One was relieved, okay, finally the exam is over. But the second thing was side by side was I was a bit anxious, like what will happen. And same as Milana, I was going through different websites, just checking what percentile will I get. But I'm hoping most of our audience would be going through the similar kind of feeling right now.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening with me.
Sure. So you scored a decent, I mean, not decent, I mean, you scored a great percentile on CAT 2021. And from there, you got calls from Blackie and converted the best calls that you had, right? So here I want to emphasize on the fact that getting a score on CAT, ZAT, IFT, SNAP, that's just the battle half won. The other half is where you have to fight with the brightest minds in the country. Not fight, I mean, compete with the brightest minds in the country and secure a seat at your dream B school, right? And that is where WAT-PI preparation comes into picture. So Milana, Ritesh, what is the ideal time according to you to start your WAT-PI preparation?
Well, I think right after you know where you're likely to get your calls from is when you should start preparing for your WAT-PI, because you get an early head start. And the good thing about WAT-PI is that you don't have to prepare institute specific. It's not really institute specific, especially HRQ's questions about yourself. They're like a standard template, and once you start doing that, you can just tinker it here and there and just change it according to the institute. So regardless of where you are getting a call from, you will get a call from some place, right? So your aim should be to at least convert that.
Exactly same. What Milana is saying, it's exactly same. The only thing I want to add is please take a day or two like off.
Yes.
Meet your friends, watch a very good movie, enjoy with your family, and then start. I think today is what, Sunday. From Tuesday, you should start back. Just start working on your writing skills, your PI thing, everything. You should start from Tuesday, like Wednesday. Start as soon as you can, because once you start in December, you are at least 1 month ahead of at least 99% of your peers,
Yeah,
which is very important.
absolutely.
And
And just to add, I think it makes a lot of sense to like, if you start now, you can do a little bit every day and still have some fun. So it's not like you're leaving it all for the end and then just cramming this manorama, big fat manorama, in like 1 week's time. So if you just divide it uniformly over a period of time, you can also chill, relax, and get work done simultaneously.
oh, I mean, when you say that get work done, chill, relax. So, do you mind just giving a sort of a study table or a sort of a schedule for people to follow? Right? कि दिसंबर में या तो जीके कर लो या how tell me something about yourself वाला आप आंसर आप प्रिपेयर कर लो, एसओपी ड्राफ्ट लिखना शुरू कर दो या वैट लिखना शुरू कर दो. So,
Yeah.
is there any schedule that you followed last year when you were preparing after CAT, or do you have any suggestions and advice?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to work for everyone, but here's what I did. I was reading the newspaper every single day. I knew that general knowledge is going to be easier current affairs is going to be easier than general knowledge, because general knowledge is so vast. Now, how am I supposed to know about Konark Sun Temple and, about who built the Leaning Tower of Pisa or whatever? So I think it's important to be abreast of the current happenings. And in addition to knowing what is happening, it is also important to have a perspective. Now, so I think reading op-ed pages in newspapers will really help you get a perspective. So if X incident is happening, what are your thoughts about it? So that's important to formulate an opinion on that. So that is something I would say start right now, because you never know how long back they might decide to ask you questions from. And then also look at questions based on you. So learn about the city you're from, know about the history of the city you're from, know things about you. If you have a passion in a particular thing, know more details about it. Like, say I play the piano, so I was reading up about classical pianists and different styles of music, because I was expecting questions on that. So if you are a sports person, then know everything about your particular sport. So the key is to not do everything, because that's not possible. But whatever is connected to you, make sure you know that inside out.
Right. So whatever Milna said, I actually kind of followed the same approach, like read newspaper every day. What like additional 2-3 things what I did is, for what I used to do is, just while reading op-ed or otherwise also, just look at, like, find out different ways of writing, easy, simple but innovative way. That fetches you a lot of marks. That is like just super simple but very beautifully you can put it out. Secondly, what I did extra was, I because I come from commerce background, I have a work ex of 3.5 years, which is like very good enough, like work ex. And then her personal life, so I found out at least 10 questions each, frequently asked questions from each of these, and I tried writing answers for this. Now, just writing the content, creating the content is not enough. What I used to do is, for example, to prepare for my educational background, I used to talk to my colleagues who are from SRCC. So they'll ask me questions on related to commerce. then somebody from who has given interviews or have similar work ex background, talk to them, just tell them your answers, do they tell your exact story or not. So this kind of practice you can, because now you have time, you can do this stuff. In the end you won't be able to do this. In the end what happens, either you focus more on your work ex or your education or your HR questions. But if you see in all the interviews, every like each of this area is important. So start doing that, I would suggest.
Great. Thank you so much for this. So Abhiram has a question. Was the PI experience of all the IIM ABC similar?
Right. So, in interest of full disclosure, I did not get calls from B and C. I had only A, but I can talk about A, L, K, I, S, and all of the others.
Sure.
I think it varies from institute to institute. With Lucknow, I had an interview that lasted for like 7 minutes, and I believe it was the case for a lot of people. They sort of they were barely invested. I mean, of course, maybe they have a different criteria, but it didn't seem like they wanted a very in-depth interview. Opposed to that, my Ahmedabad interview went on for almost 40 minutes. And, they wanted, it was very comprehensive. They wanted to know about me. They wanted to know about my undergrad, about my work, about my interests, about my mathematical abilities, which was a bit of a tricky part because I did mass media. So they asked me a bit of calculus and stuff, but yeah, got through it somehow. And Corey Code again was very technical. They were asking me about marketing and intricacies of marketing and whatnot because I majored in advertising, so they wanted to test me on that front. Shillong was very PI based. I mean, very HRQ based. Of course, they had one or two questions on current affairs. And I think the remaining, the new IIMs, what is that called? You call it something, no? What is it called?
CAP, CAP process, CAP process.
Yes, the CAP. Yes, the life of me, I couldn't remember it. So the CAP process is very chill. They just ask you questions on yourself. Last year it was Trichy that was conducting the CAP. So it might vary depending on who's conducting it this year. But largely, I think the safest thing to do is to know yourself inside out, because that is one place where you can't go wrong, right? You know about yourself in the best possible way. And it's about putting your best version in front of the interviewer, because no one is perfect. We all come with our own set of flaws, but it's about how you're projecting your image. So that should just be the key.
Wonderful.
For me, I also didn't get C. I had A and B. So A was similar for me. Same. They kept on asking. They asked a lot of questions from my undergrad. They actually literally took my graduation mark sheet and they went on by subject by subject. Do you remember anything from this subject? Anything from this subject and all that? They kept on asking. And there was one math subject I studied in graduation, and they were like, "Did you study this subject?" And for a second, I was like, "I don't think so. I've studied this." That's how it was. And see, in B, my conversation was actually, it was not even an interview, it was more of a conversation. B's interview was best for me because whatever was happening, they were same thing, like commerce background, so stock market and all that thing. So they were more interested in, if I don't understand something or if I don't know something, am I able to put it forward in a positive manner? That was the thing they were looking for. See, what happens in interviews, what I understand is, you have given CAT. So when they are taking your interview, the other person already knows that you are intelligent in academic sense. Now the person wants to understand if they can give you that opportunity to be part of the cohort they want to take in. Now, are you passionate enough, or will you be able to take the pressure, that this B school pressure, will you be able to take it? Now, to do that, what I understand is there should be a story in everything you talk about, irrespective of your work ex, your education background, irrespective. You should be able to tell a story with a lot of passion. It may sound cliche, but when you are talking about anything, what you have done previously or what you want to do in life, the passion should reflect from your face. When you are talking about something, you are very passionate, as Milana was telling that she plays instrument, right? So when I understand, like I believe that when she would be talking about it, she would be all passionate about it. Why am I doing this? There should be a purpose behind everything. So the sole just one thing that you have to believe in is create a good story and have the prepare your face to tell that story. Your body should tell the whole story. That's all you should do, because intelligence is all checked. The only thing you can come ahead of your peers is your personality, which will come out in interviews. Tell a story with all of your passion and you are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Just to add to Ritesh's point, I think she made a very valid point on how it is about how you're putting on an image, right? It is about confidence at the end of the day. And that is also why it is important to start preparation early, because it gives you confidence, nothing else. See, because there is no predicting of how exactly your interview is going to go at a particular IIM, because none of us know. I mean, if you come under us as a mentee, even we don't know how your interviewer is going to question you. But what we can do is, of course, we can put you through the rigor of an interview, and regardless of where you go, any in the purpose of any mock interview is basically just that it puts you through the rigor of an interview and gives you confidence. So when you're actually sitting in the real interview, you have the you're already equipped, you know how to deal with it, and it's just like it's like muscle memory for you. So that's the idea.
Sure. Sure. So Milana brought a point about student, you being her mentee or Ritesh's mentee. So at Inside IIM, we have a flagship WAT-PI preparation program. Right, this is the third season that we're starting off soon. Uh, Both Ritesh and Milana were students of that program last year, and they have converted their calls. They And I'm happy to announce that they will be joining in this year as mentors as well. So if you are looking for your admissions to prepare for WAT-PI, do check out Inside IIM's MBA Admissions Bootcamp WAT-PI Edge Season 3. Right? So last year we had 109 students who signed up for this program. 87 of them converted one of their top three best calls. So Ritesh being one of them, her best call was Ahmedabad. She converted Bangalore. Milana was amongst the 53 people who converted the best call. Right? Ahmedabad being her best call, she converted her best call. I am not saying that they converted only because of us, but they were part of the program. And when we took mentorship sessions, we took mock interviews. So in the session, in the program, you have 5 mock interviews with MBA alumni or current students, 10 live knowledge sessions on finance, marketing, all the domains and how to prepare for PI, etc. One one-on-one mentorship session where the mentor is going to sit with you for an hour and help you prepare for the interview based on your profile. If you're an engineer, then the guidance for you will be different. If you're a non-engineer, then for you it will be different. Most importantly, we will be giving 20 WATs this time, and we'll be editing your CV and SOP, which are extremely crucial for your interviews. Yeah. So you'll find the link in the description and also in the live chat. Do check it out. If you have any questions regarding that, feel free to reach out to me or write to us at editor@insidearm.com. We'll write back to you. We'll clarify any doubts that you have. Right? Again, thank you so much, Milana and Ritesh, for joining in as mentors for the third batch. Always great to have people you know, who have gone out of a program and then coming back again to help juniors. Thank you so much for that.
It's my pleasure.
Yes.
Yes. So, I had one question. ठीक है, तो which interview according to you was the most grilling one? कौन सा interview was the stress interview max जो we talk about it, no? The maximum stress interview. Which interview according to you was that?
For me, it was Indore.
Okay.
I thought it was my first interview, so I was a little nervous. And they got very technical because they focused on my work ex, and because I had done a borderline consulting role, they got into the technicalities of it, and they were asking me stuff about data and whatnot, which is not really my forte. So I fumbled here and there, and I was like, "ये तो convert नहीं होगा," but हो गया somehow.
Okay.
But I think that's the key lesson, which is that even in the moment, if you think you're faltering, don't let it show. So I started making jokes. I was laughing at myself. Of course, make it, responsibly, because you're not supposed to come across as being cocky or being pompous, or you're not supposed to come across as being like you're ridiculing them. But a little bit of humor always helps. So, just don't let the tension show on your face. You never know how the interview is going to go. Sometimes you might think it went like trash, but when you see the result, it might just work in your favor. So that's just this little piece of advice?
For me, I would say it was Lucknow. Same thing happened with me. So this person asked me something related to what I studied in class 11th. Some journal entry in accountancy. And I was like, sorry, but I don't know this. And this person started scolding me, literally scolding me, that you come from SRCC and you don't even know this general entry. And for a second, I was like, but you are asking me 11th standard general entry, which I am not going to use. But then I was like, okay, I was like, I'm sorry, maybe I'll look into it, but I know this related to this. So that's how this was my mechanism. Whenever something you don't know, explicitly tell that I don't know this, but don't leave your question there. Always tell that I don't know this exactly, but something related to this I know. This is what it helped me throughout. So whenever you don't know, please don't beat around the bush. That's complete no. That's a bad thing. Very bad thing.
Even interviewers don't expect you to know everything, right? I mean,
of course. Yeah.
You check.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that they primarily check how you're reacting.
Yes.
If you don't know a question, if you don't know the answer to a question, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Got it. And so, see, I'm Calcutta historically because at Inside IIM we also get a lot of these interview experiences on. We publish the interview experiences so that it helps the upcoming aspirants, right? So I've majorly seen that IIM Lucknow में stress interview historically मतलब percentage wise देखोगे तो ज़्यादा होता है. IIM Calcutta is heavy on your quant based questions. So what is your advice to someone who is going to appear for his or her interview in February March? तो उसके लिए what would be advice कि stress interview is something that कि even if you practice then मतलब कभी you get cold feet, कभी you get nervous around it, stress, and that's the purpose of stress interview. So how to tackle a stress interview? What is the best way to not get deterred or not show that you have lost confidence or you were scared during that stress interview?
Yeah, I think one thing is to be okay, please go ahead.
No, it's okay, carry on.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So I think one thing is to be mindful, which is that sometimes, when people get stressed, at least for me, when I get stressed, I start shaking my legs. So just be conscious of that. So different, we anxiety manifests in different ways for us. So some people start speaking very fast. Some people use their hands a lot more. So pick out, maybe whenever you're doing a mock interview or something, see where your anxiety begins to leak and try to be mindful of that. Of course, you can't eliminate it. And the interviewers also know that they're putting you under some sort of pressure. But it always helps to put on a smile, even if you're acting. These acting kar leni padti hai. And just try to maintain your composure, even if you're internally like dying out of fear. And one thought that helps is to know that this is just one interview. It's not the end of the world. And you can never know if this interview is going to work in your favor or not, because I can tell you my Lucknow interview went pretty well actually, but I got waitlisted, and I don't know if the waitlist ever moved because I never checked. But so the point is, you might think the interview has not gone well, but in reality it might be completely different. So just keep that thought and keep your mind kind of don't expect anything, but don't jump to a conclusion either.
Yes. Adding on to this, there is one more thing. What has worked for me always is never take yourself too seriously. Because what happens is people, especially people who come from like always 999 score, what happens with them? I'm a great student. I have to perform like above and beyond. No, you need not to. And even if you do, there is no surety that you will crack it. So please stop taking yourself seriously. It's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fumble. It's okay to not know things. It's fine. Once you start believing in that, na, you are at peace. And that anxiety, that you get very less anxious. I'm telling you. Once start having this thought, there are things that I know. If I know them, I know this much. Whatever I know, can I put it across in the best possible way. That's there. Things I don't know, it's okay. I can't know the whole universe, right? And it's fine. One more thing is why, like, if we both kept on telling you, and the man is also telling you that start preparing early. Now, what will happen? As Milana said, you go through mock interviews. Why? To create that muscle memory. You will know what is putting you off. If you know that point, either you will prepare for it. And if it is something which is like you can't prepare for it, maybe this is something related to some kind of particular HR questions and things that you can't prepare, what you will do, at least you will understand, if I don't know about this, how can I just meander through it and come forward. So that's these are the two things that have worked for me. I hope this may work for you as well.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, Nana, Ritesh, so you both have been students of the WAT-PI MBA Admissions Bootcamp last year. So, what are your honest thoughts about that? I mean, we're on live, right? So, what are your honest thoughts about being a part of the program? And how do you think that this year, with the third season, we can help more aspirants crack their dream B school, crack their interviews, and make it to their make it to the dream B school?
I think for me it was quite a good experience because I got a mentor from IIM A who connected me to another junior of her who had almost the same background as me. So I think I got contacts through my mentor with other people who had a similar background to mine as mine. So there was that. Second, I think it gave me I think we have like 5 interviews that were possible mocks. I took like 3 of them. And it gave me a good exposure because they were from different institutes. So I think one of them was from IIM Lucknow, one was IIM A, and I think the third was XLRI or some creme de la creme institute. So I got a flavor of different interviews as such, because everyone comes with their own set of background, right? And in addition to the interviews, they always give you feedback, which was helpful because a lot of it was good, thankfully, in my favor. So it boosted my confidence. So I was felt good after talking to them. And I think interviews are all about confidence. Like you can literally go in exuding confidence. If you exude confidence, then you can get, I mean, of course, that doesn't mean you talk rubbish, but as long as you say things confidently, I think things will work in your favor. So it was extremely helpful for me in building my confidence in general and building contacts as well.
I would talk about both WET and PI differently. WET specifically because what happens, what I noticed for myself was before I enrolled inside IIM, what I used to, there was no regular way of practicing WET. So after inside IIM, okay, there is like you get good amount of like topics, and then you get feedback also on that. So which is a good thing. You are consistent. You have a timetable to follow, and which is good. You keep following that. In PI, actually, I availed all 6 actually. That was a good thing for me. The best part, what I found out was first I had a counseling session, a mentoring session proper, and which was like the best session I ever had. Why? Because before that, I didn't know the storytelling thing. Okay, I used to tell story, but whatever I felt, okay, this I can tell or not. That day, I think it went on for 1.5 hours, and my mentor asked each and every specific point from my childhood till date, till that time, whatever incident which I felt is important enough. And then we built a very good story around it. And I let me tell you, this is the story I'm still carrying. In my SIP, I've told that story multiple times. So I kept that story. And after that, each of the mock interviews I gave, uh, the man was there. He helped me get person whosoever institute's interview was coming.
Yeah.
So which, as you also said, Milana, it helps you understand like what kind of mental state you should be in, what you should be prepared for.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. And the feedback sessions always good. They give you actual genuine feedback, which is good. And the best part is you feel that human element. I'll tell you, like, this is the experience, shared experience. So somebody told me, somebody took from like bigger institutes. It's nothing to demean them or something, but what happens when you have a very big institute and lot many people there, it becomes mechanical. And here at Inside IIM, I felt that in person, like human element we call, right? These people are equally invested in you as a friend. Ki, I want you to do good. This is what you are doing good. This is not good. Let's work on it. So I think everybody should at least once try it. You'll feel that.
Yeah, I think Ritesh made a very valid point. I think with the Inside IIM program, because I was also enrolled with another institute, I think one thing that really stood out for me was the fact that people are approachable here, opposed to some really senior faculty member at an institute conducting your interview. Someone who's actually a student out there is far more approachable, and they understand where you're coming from because they've been in the same spot like less than a year ago. So that is, I think that really worked. And the last thing is, if you have shortlist from your dream college, this is worth it, because tomorrow, that was a rationale I went in with. I was like, if I got a call from IIM A, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'll get this chance again in my life. So let me leave no stone unturned. I will do whatever it takes, because tomorrow I don't want to be with the regret that, oh, if I had probably done that, maybe I would have converted it. So just try to, whatever is your decision vis-a-vis preparation for WAT-PI, I think just do your best, because tomorrow I don't want you to live with any regret that I could have done better in terms of efforts or in terms of money spent or time spent. So just make sure that you give it your best.
I think almost all of us have been through that. It was the same. The man must remember this conversation. I actually told him before enrolling. I called him and I was like, "See, I have already enrolled with somebody else, and I don't know should I invest this and all that." And the man was like, "See, the only thing I can tell you is we will put 100% effort in this." And I was like, okay, let's go ahead. Same thing. Don't want to live with this regret. But with all this, I also want to put forward one point for everybody. Just stop stressing out, okay? What you can do right now is be prepared. Not only if you clear CAT and you get interview calls, but also be prepared just in case, worst case scenario, you don't get the call. So be prepared that I will prepare again and give my best shot next time. So don't take too much of stress that I have to get the call and this is the end of life. No, it is not.
Yeah, it is not. It is not. And if it makes you feel any better, I got third time lucky. So there is nothing wrong in taking multiple attempts. Just be calm. And like Ritesh said, nothing is more important than your sanity. And things will work out. I'm giving you my ashirwad. Not like it matters, but just.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for the kind words, Milana and Ritesh. I mean, I'm bit this thing. So thank you so much for the kind words. One thing that Milana spoke about was matching her with the mentor. So her mentor is an IIM A alumna right now. She graduated this year. She has a similar profile to that of Milana. She's also a mass media student. Then she made it to IIM Ahmedabad, then a consumer goods. She was working interning at a consumer goods company. Right. So at Inside IIM with the boot camp, we try to map you with mentors who have had a similar journey as yours. So if you're an engineer, we'll map you with an engineer. If you are a chartered accountant, we'll map you with a chartered accountant, so that your experience and your mentorship session is actually fruitful for you. Because kya hai ki, this is what I believe, that ki engineer on the other side may not be the best person to tell you कि chartered accountant CA के कोर्स में taxation के इस पेपर के अगर क्वेश्चन है तो how do you tackle that, right? So our goal is to help you map with people who have had a similar journey as yours, and then obviously help you make it your dream B school. So as I say, the links are in the description and in the comments. So Milana and Ritesh, I have one last question from a viewer. Arpita Sureka has asked a question: how to handle questions on gap years?
Right. I had a 1-year gap year actually. It's about weaving a narrative. In fact, I actually did a video on the Inside IIM channel on gap years. So you might want to check that out. But just the key points from that video are that it is fine to have a gap year as long as you can justify it and you can take a meaningful learning out of it. So, of course, don't just say I was sitting and studying for CAT. Of course, the interviewer knows that that's what you were doing in all likelihood, but try to take a learning out of it. So maybe in while you're taking your gap year, try to do an internship or try to pick up a hobby, try to get a certificate course, and don't just stop at that. Talk about how that particular course or that experience has given you some kind of a learning which you can bring to the classroom, because ultimately the interviewer wants to know if you can add value to the classroom and to the cohort. So if there is any, if you can, it could be as inane as I went for walks every single day, and it taught me lessons on resilience and consistency and anything like that. So if you can weave a good story out of it, then you can. It's really not a problem. You shouldn't be worrying.
Adding on to, actually, let me tell you, I have a 2.5 years gap. I was preparing for UPSC, gave 2 attempts, both prelims. I could not clear the prelims itself. Now, this looks like a huge problem, but it is not. Let me tell you, because one thing, none of the interviewer, I think just one, it was Amritsar, I guess. In Amritsar interview, they asked me about this and why you were preparing for UPSC, what you learned and all that. So first thing, because in the SOPs, especially in Ahmedabad and Bangalore, we have SOPs, right? In both the SOPs, I willingly wrote about my gap year. 2.5 years I was preparing and what I learned out of it. So, as Milana said, you should have a story. You should tell why you were not doing anything which has a certification of it. Yeah. So, for that, don't worry about gap year. If you can justify you were doing something, see, it can be as people may think that I was just taking care of myself, and it's completely fine. There have been incidents. I had my incident. You are not mentally well, you are not physically well, and you are taking time off, and it's completely fine. You are working on yourself. The only thing you should be, there should be some outcome of it, some learning that you can use in your life. It made you a better person, it made you learn something, some new skill. You are in bed, but you learned maybe a mouth organ, which is a good thing. So it just should show that you are willing to put efforts, you're willing to learn. There are outcomes of your everything you do, and you are good. No gap year is a problem.
Yeah, that's actually a very beautiful point that Ritesh brought up, and something that I was also thinking if I should mention. But so, as someone who deals with a lot of mental health issues, I had to take the year off actually because my mental health was not very good, and I was under psychiatric care. And I did mention this in my interviews actually. So I, of course, this is a bit of a tricky spot because you don't want to play the victim card, and at the same time, you don't want to freak them out either, right? Because all said and done, people are still kind of a little wary of mental health struggles. But I think it is people at these top institutes are very sensitive and sensible, and they understand that mental health is a real challenge. And of course, physical health goes without saying. So if you have any health issues or anything, if you're just working on yourself, just say that there's nothing wrong, because one way of packaging it is that 2 years at a B school, and those 2 years are going to be grueling. They're not going to be easy. So it's important that you are your best version before you get into the rigor. So if that means taking a year to build your strength, to build your resilience, then there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for the session, Milana and Ritesh. Thank you. Lovely catching up with you. And to all of you watching this, I hope we have been able to add some value to you. And I'm not asking you to sign up for the program, anything, but what I'm requesting is, आप हमारा program अगर नहीं भी खरीदते हो, at least start your preparation early and make it to a top B school. And in case you need the field to sign up for our program, you can check the link in the description and the comments. And if you have any questions regarding the program, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be answering and we'll try to clarify every question that you have, any and every question that you may have. Right? Thank you so much. The last session for Inside IIM SCAT Day Live 2022 will happen at 11 o'clock. So we have GP sir and Jeto sir from Career Launcher who will be doing a thorough analysis of the 3 slots in CAT 2022. So make sure you join us for this session. And till then, good night. See you.
Thank you, Diba, and thanks, Ritesh.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, bye. Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Good night. See you.
Thank you, Diba, and thanks, Ritesh.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, bye. Thanks, everyone. Good luck.